I want to start with a simple, yet powerful question. What's holding you back from achieving the success you deserve? I want to talk about something that's often overlooked in our pursuit of success, and it's this: being too nice. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should stop being kind, generous, or respectful. Those qualities are critical to our relationships and well-being. But there's a dangerous side to being too nice when it comes to advancing in life, and it's something that can quietly kill your success. Let me give you an example. A friend of mine, Alex, was sitting with me a while ago, frustrated. He said, "Jim, I don't get it. I'm a good guy. I'm always there for people. I never say no, but somehow I'm stuck. People walk all over me. Opportunities slip away, and my success feels like it's in neutral." I could see the frustration in his eyes, but more importantly, I could see the problem. It's a problem that many of us face. Alex's issue: he was too nice. Now, let me explain why being too nice can actually kill your success. First, you won't command respect. Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you command through your actions, your boundaries, and the way you value yourself. But when you're too nice, too accommodating, too eager to please, you'll find that respect seems to be just out of reach. People may like you, they may appreciate you, but they won't necessarily respect you. And without respect, success becomes a much harder road to travel. I learned this lesson the hard way, early in my career. I thought that if I was kind to everyone, always agreeable and willing to compromise to avoid conflict, people would respect me. But I was wrong. People didn't see me as a leader. They saw me as someone who would bend, someone who wouldn't push back when it mattered. There was a time when I worked with a group of ambitious colleagues. We all had potential. We all worked hard. But there was one thing some of them did that I didn't. They asserted themselves. They knew how to stand their ground, how to challenge ideas, and they weren't afraid to speak up. And guess what? When leadership positions became available, they were the ones who got them, not the one who always said yes. You can't command respect if you're always saying yes, if you're always putting other people's priorities ahead of your own. If you want to be respected, you have to draw boundaries. You have to be kind, yes, but also firm, decisive, and willing to stand by your values. Secondly, you'll miss out on growth opportunities. Here's something that a lot of people overlook. Growth doesn't always come in a shiny, perfect package. It comes in the form of challenges, uncomfortable situations, and moments where you have to make a choice, stay where you are, or step into something bigger. If you're always trying to avoid conflict, always playing it safe, always trying to make everyone happy, you're going to miss out on the very opportunities that could help you grow. Early in my career, I had the chance to manage a team. It was a big responsibility, and I wasn't sure if I was ready. But I realized something important. If I waited until I was completely ready, I would be waiting forever. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when you take on new challenges. I said yes to the position. And yes, there were mistakes. And yes, there were moments of doubt. But that decision was the catalyst for my growth. I developed new skills, gained confidence, and learned things I never would have if I had stayed comfortable. Thirdly, people will take advantage of you. It's not because they're bad people. It's just human nature. When you're always saying yes, always putting others before yourself, people will take advantage. You're making life easier for others, but at your own expense. I remember a time when I was in a similar situation. I thought that by constantly helping others, saying yes to every request, and staying late at work to do things that weren't even part of my job description, I would eventually get ahead. I thought success would follow just because I was always there for everyone. But instead, people started to expect it. They didn't consider my own dreams, my own responsibilities. They knew I'd always say yes. One day I was working late, again, not to finish my own projects, but to take on tasks that others had passed off. And then, an important opportunity came up. A leadership position I had worked hard for. I thought, this is my time. But guess what? They chose someone else. Why? Because they were strategic. They set clear boundaries, and while they helped others, they didn't lose sight of their own goals. That was the turning point. I realized I had become a doormat. I had put others' success ahead of my own. I had neglected my own boundaries. And guess what happened? My success got stuck. Fourthly, you'll accept less than you deserve. Being too nice can make you settle for less. You'll accept a job that doesn't fulfill you, a relationship that doesn't meet your needs, or a salary that doesn't reflect your value, all because you don't want to rock the boat. The same principle applies to everything in life. If you don't set your own standards, the world will set them for you. If you always say yes when you mean no, if you always settle for less, people will assume that's what you're okay with. But when you stand up for yourself, when you demand the respect and opportunities you deserve, everything changes. And finally, the fear of rejection will hold you back. When you're too nice, you don't take risks. You avoid difficult conversations. You don't ask for what you want because you're afraid of upsetting someone. You tell yourself you're just being considerate, but deep down, you know what's really happening. You're afraid of being told no. Let me tell you about a young guy I worked with. Let's call him Brian. Brian had amazing ideas, and I knew he had leadership potential. But every time an opportunity came up, he stayed silent. He waited for someone to notice him, to give him a chance. Guess what happened? His ideas stayed unspoken, and someone else stepped up and took the opportunity he should have gone for. I've been in a similar situation. I had an idea for a business venture, something I truly believed in, but I was too afraid to share it. I kept thinking, what if people don't take me seriously? What if they think it's a dumb idea? So I did nothing. And you know what happened? Someone else took the idea and made it work. That was a pivotal moment for me. I realized if I kept letting the fear of rejection control me, I would never achieve anything meaningful. Now, I'd rather face rejection than live with regret. Because rejection isn't the end, it's part of the journey. Every successful person has been rejected, but they didn't let that stop them. They kept going, and so should you. Success isn't about being liked or pleasing everyone. It's about knowing your worth, setting clear boundaries, and being willing to take risks. It's about embracing discomfort, growing through challenges, and taking opportunities when they come, even if they don't look perfect at first. Don't let being too nice hold you back. You have the power to decide what you deserve, what you want, and where you're going. So ask yourself today, are you being too nice, or are you standing up for your success? If you love this video, like and comments, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.